Okay, so today we're going to try and make some bread. I'll go and show you how I mix the dough, and that should actually be enough for you to do your own. Here we go now. So I'll try to do it step by step. Maybe you can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure you can though. Yeah, it's all there. Okay, so first I start out with 6 cups of water, and that water is quite warm. It's a little warmer actually than what you would put into your bathtub if you're going to have a hot bath. So but it's so comfortable for me to put my finger in. Okay, and I've got a very nice little container here that this is 4 cups. Now I'm going to add another 2. That's my 6 cups of water. And now I'm taking my salt container and I'm adding 3 level teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And now comes the yeast. Yep, the water's fine. It's not going to be too hot to kill the yeast. And again, 3 level teaspoons of fresh yeast if you can have it, because once the yeast gets old, it doesn't rise very well anymore. It's almost dead. 2 and 3. Now because I'm going to be adding a little bit of, of whole wheat flour, I'll sweeten this up with just a little bit of sugar to give the yeast something to feed on, because the flour itself, the white flour, won't be quite enough. So I'm adding 1 little packet of sugar and stir it all up. Get it going this way. And while this works, I'll be measuring out my flour in in the larger container. So I've got this pretty much mixed now. There we go. Now I'll just put that aside. See, if this is a shallow container, that's just fine for mixing the water. And here is my container for the flour. Okay, here I'm back. This particular recipe calls for 10 cups of white flour. You can use regular white flour or you can use unbleached. And after that I'm going to be adding 2 cups of whole wheat. And I've got a little bit of rye flour here. You might be able to see it there. And I'm going to measure out 1 cup of rye flour. So let's see, this is a slightly long process. We might have to cut that down. There, this is 4 cups. And another 4. A little more. There we go, that's 4 cups, that's 8. And now I have to try and do 2 cups. There we go. Well, yeah, that's 2 cups. You can see here, 2 cups. And that's it. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of whole wheat. That just gives it a slightly better texture and taste, and you can eat it with a good conscience. You don't have to worry about all that white flour that you're eating. There. That's pretty close to 2 cups. Here we go. And now I'm going to get some of that beautiful rye. I love rye flour. Next time I'm going to do a recipe with a slightly increased amount of rye, but this time I'll stick to the old and tried and true, and I'm just going to have 1 cup of rye flour in here. Now this may, to all you seasoned cooks and bakers, this may be old hat and all that, but I figure I'll do it anyways. Here we go. There's my flour. Now, what I like to do is mix this all up before I add my yeast and my water. Here we go. Get that all nicely mixed up. That's just the flour. There's no salt or anything else in here. Just the 3 different kinds of flour.